What's happening, folks? In today's video, I want to check out what the Color Chrome FX and Color Chrome FX Blue does in the menu systems of the sort of new generation Fuji cameras. So the X100V, the X Pro 3, the X-T4, X-T3, and whatever other ones have that 26 megapixel sensor in them. I seen this feature when I first got the camera and I didn't mess with it too much. So today I want to make this video to test out these features and kind of figure out what they do, if they look good, and subsequently I will Google it to figure out exactly what it is for. And this morning I went out and made a couple photos round about my neighbourhood, finding as many different colours as I could. I actually found one picture with all the primary colours in it. I'm probably going to use that one mainly to see what difference it makes. And I'm also going to test it by using the in-camera RAW conversion, because then I can have it applied or not applied to the same photo and make multiple copies of it. That way the settings are the same, the light's the same, and there's no discrepancy between different photos. Alright, so I'm going to throw these pictures up on the screen and talk you through which one is which as I go along. First of all, this one is Provia with zero color effects applied to it. I figured Provia was probably it's the standard profile, so just a good one to start off with. Then I added the Color Chrome FX, which seems to affect everything but the blue, which makes perfect sense because when you add the blues go dark. Then all of it together makes everything darker, and I think looks better, at least in this picture, because it brings all the colors into they all look like they've been muted equally. I think when it's only the blue, it looks a little odd. And it's not too bad when you don't include the blue. But the next one I tried was Velvia, because it's Velvia and it's super saturated. So to start off with, this was Velvia with nothing applied. And then the regular one applied. I'm just going to skip to everything being applied because I feel like the other two are a little bit pointless. And you can see again, it makes everything darker. I feel like it brings back a little bit more detail in the texture that's on the ground. And just for one more point of reference, I did one with Classic Chrome. So starting off with nothing applied and then with everything applied. And again, it does the same job, makes everything a little bit darker. I changed up the scene and did a Provia scene with some green grass and blue skies, and then applied everything. And I did this all to the strong setting, by the way, so that it would actually make the most noticeable difference on a screen. You can always put it on a weak, which I guess just going to dial it back a little bit and be a little bit less noticeable. And obviously, it makes the skies a lot darker. To be honest, it makes all of the exposure look darker, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You could just compensate a little bit with adding more brightness in. Then I did this same scene with Velvia, and again, nothing applied, and then Velvia with everything applied. And same idea, just makes everything darker. Kind of leaves it looking a little bit underexposed if you ask me. So if we take a look at them side by side, this one's Provia on the left with the Provia and all of the Color Chrome effects applied on the right. This one is Velvia with it all applied on the right. Pretty big difference in this one if you ask me. It makes everything really dark and almost makes it more saturated, but without making it over saturated. It's kind of difficult to explain. It's like the luminosity slider in Lightroom, where it makes the color darker without really muting it or making it brighter. It has an odd effect, and I find it difficult to explain. And this is it on Classic Chrome. I might have had it with +2 color, but by the way the screen's looking, maybe it's just because I came from Velvia, it looks like it's not added in. Looks like I did not have it on +2 color. So this is the one Provia side by side. Not that big of a difference in that scene. I don't think. Obviously it makes the greens and blues a bit darker, but I don't think it's super pronounced. And then with Velvia, it's a little bit more pronounced, makes those blues sort of stick out a lot darker there, and again makes the whole scene look a little bit underexposed. Alright, so I'm now Googling what this actually is for. I'm sure it's also in the manual for the camera, but I'm not, I can barely concentrate on reading anything, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so on the Fuji website, the Color Chrome effect is for high saturation subjects. This effect produces deeper colors and gradation in subjects with highly saturated colors present and vivid and shaded flowers, which are notoriously difficult to photograph. That makes perfect sense. It darkens the colours down on things that are highly saturated and difficult to photograph. And to be fair, it did seem like it brought a little bit of detail back in the texture of the ground, so that makes complete sense, and that apparently seems to be all that it's for. That's all there is on that page. I don't know why it's separated into blue and other colours, does not tell me on here, but maybe so that it doesn't do that to the sky unless you want it to. I feel like that would be a reasonable conclusion. So have you messed around with this setting? Do you like it on? Do you like it off? Do you not care because you don't use the JPEGs anyways? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers.